Hey guys, and welcome back to What If Soul. I'm your host, Broken Soul, and it's time for a new episode of What If Ash Could Start Over. But before we get started, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let's try and grow a community one step at a time. Okay, so I'm actually going to make this episode a bit of a short one, only because I'm kind of making up for last week not posting a video. So it's going to be just a quick one. Actually, I'm going to address something that a couple of people have been asking me for a while. Like, why are Ash's Pokemon suddenly so strong in some cases, and why are some how did some learn the moves they learned? Well, that's what we're going to discuss right now. Actually, we're going to make our way straight over to Pallet Town, where in Professor Oak's lab, we make our way to the backyard, where we see all of Ash's Pokemon training. Bulbasaur, in fact, has become sort of the official leader of Ash's Pokemon. He, along with one of his best friends, Charizard, and Ash's Butterfree. Don't forget, guys, Ash actually caught all of Butterfree's family and had them transported to Professor Oak's laboratory. So he's there too. Just giving y'all a heads up and a reminder. Anyway, though, the three of them are actually working together to kind of keep order among Ash's Pokemon. Whether it be making sure Ash's Tauros don't trample everything, making sure Infernape doesn't go crazy wanting to battle everyone, or stuff like Totodile not annoying everyone to death with his dancing. Actually, a lot of Ash's more prominent battlers are taking charge of the younger Pokemon, such as Weasel, Charizard, Torterra, others like that, taking kind of mentorships toward a lot of the younger Pokemon. For example, Charizard has actually taken a bit of a mentor role to Gabite, after seeing it got a little bit overconfident after evolving, thinking it could take on the world. Charizard saw itself too much in that and tried its best, and is trying his best to kind of squash that before it gets too out of hand. The same goes with Sceptile. It's actually trying to teach a lot of Ash's Pokemon, such as his Scraggy, his Weasel, along with his Noivern, on how to handle speed, stealth, as well as precision striking. Again, a lot of Ash's Pokemon are just really taking charge about this. Now, what actually is surprising a lot of people is where these Pokemon are learning some of these moves. Again, that's where a lot of these Pokemon, or older Pokemon, are really taking charge. Because with Charizard, don't forget, when he trained in the Charizard Valley, he learned stuff like Steel Wing, Slash, Overheat, and all of that all on his own without Ash having put any input at all. In fact, Charizard passed that along to a lot of the older Pokemon. So that's kind of basically where all of Ash's Pokemon are kind of getting their training from. Speaking of which, we're actually going to move over to Alola, where Ash's Alola team is. And of course there's no lack of training either. Especially from Lycanroc and Incineroar. The two of them are working side by side, kind of proving that since they're both the two strongest Pokemon in Alola, or at least for his Alola team, that they got to keep the rest of the people in shape. Especially Pokemon like Melmetal and Rowlet, who can get, in Melmetal's case, on the rowdy side, and in Rowlet's case, on the sleepy, lazy side. So that's a good thing right there. But they're not the only ones training. In fact, moving over to Squirtle and the Squirtle Squad, trying to say that 3 times fast. Squirtle and his gang are actually working their hardest too. In fact, Squirtle has little mock battles with every one of the members of his squad. And sometimes it'll even be like a 4-on-1 in some cases, just to keep his skills and his talents for battling sharp. Officer Jenny is actually seeing this, and she's actually petitioning to see if she can get that War Turtle team to head over there to help out in the fight as well. Anything to kind of get Squirtle's an upper edge for whenever it finally has its time to battle. So yeah, that's pretty much all of Ash's Pokemon. They're all training, getting stronger, and doing their best to prepare for whenever the competition rolls by, whenever Ash calls upon them for their help. Now, I know I said I was going to basically focus this mostly on Ash and his team, but I'm kind of want to set something else up too. Let's move this to a little facility I like to call the Battle Pike, where a certain Queen Lucy presides. Yep. Let's actually back this up a few weeks to when Ash and Misty were battling in the Cerulean City gym. Truth be told, Lucy actually is a connoisseur of the fine arts, you would. Don't worry, she's not like silent in that kind of connoisseur sense. But no, she actually is a big fan of the Brave Little Seal. In fact, every chance she gets to watch it, she does. However, one day when she was flipping channels, looking to see if she can find it, she noticed that, wait a minute, something happened. Is it some kind of technical difficulty? But then on TV, that's when she sees it. Ash, Misty, and Brock. All three of them are back in Kanto. She's actually surprised to see Brock. Don't forget guys, in the anime, she actually was one of the very few girls to have had a crush on Brock back. In fact, as soon as she hears special guest referee Brock, she jumps up off of her couch, actually scaring all of her other Pokemon who are in the house with her, as she cheers on the TV in complete excitement, completely forgetting that she's gonna watch a ballet and laying her eyes strictly on that battle. Lucy was just glued to that TV. A crowbar couldn't get her away from it. She was getting more and more excited as the battle went on. And then finally, when those last two Pokemon were colliding, Gyarados and Noivern, Misty was completely speechless. She could not believe what she was seeing, how far that little boy from the Battle Frontier had gotten when he challenged her to a battle. Now she just can't wait to see him again. In fact, she thinks to herself, I wonder where Ash is going to next. She actually tries to follow his career pretty closely. In fact, every time there's a brand new battle, she tries to tune in as best she can. She missed a few here and there, yeah, but that's more due to the other gym leaders who didn't want to have anything to do with it. She saw Lieutenant Surge, she didn't see Sabrina, but she did see Erica. When she saw Erica, she wondered two things. Wait a minute. For one thing, where did Brock go? And for another, he's in Celadon City. That's close to Fuchsia. I wonder if he'll be here next. So that's when she gets the bright idea to get up and actually go out looking for Ash. Really, it's not Ash she's looking for. She just wants an excuse to see Brock again. And if he's not with him, then she might stick around with him long enough to at least wait for Brock to show back up again. No way Brock is going to abandon one of his best friends. So yeah, pretty much Lucy's going to make her way straight for Ash. The entire time she's making her way over there, she is blushing the whole time and in complete anticipation. She cannot wait to see them all again. And that's where I'm going to leave it off for now, guys. I know, very, very short episode, but I warned you guys. Anyway though, let me know what you guys think. We got to see how Ash's Pokemon were doing, whether it be in Pallet Town or in Alola. We got to know what happened with Lucy, and now she's making her way to Ash so she can finally see Brock again. So, let me know what you guys think. Until next time, guys, this is Broken Soul saying, may your souls be ever bright. I love you guys. Bye.